Evening, everybody. So it's back to work for 2 days tomorrow, and then another 3 days of recording and marking essays, of course. But you know, onwards and upwards, as they say. And my save games load. Oh, there we go. Good. Oh, by Vivienne, look at that.
You walked physically through the Fade. Please tell me what you remember.
I had visions. Echoes of what happened to me the first time. The Divine was there, or something like her.
Manifestations of your own mind, perhaps? Or external memories awakened by your presence? I suppose there's no way to tell. No one else has physically entered the Fade since the Magisters assaulted the Golden City. Oh, I'm positively envious right now.
I wanted to ask you about the Circle of Magi.
Of course. What do you wish to know?
You must have an opinion of the Templars after living so long in this circle.
Having opinions about Templars, my dear, is exactly like having opinions about mages or Navarans or men. I have known some who were impossible to endure and some who were utterly charming. I have suffered insults at the hands of those in the armor, but no more than I endured from nobles or tradesmen in Val-Royaux. Personally, I have found the Templars a useful tool, skilled at keeping more unpleasant elements at bay.
She seems like eminently reasonable to me. I don't get why everyone or anyone hates her. To be honest with you, she seems just completely fine to me, Vivienne.
If you require any assistance.
No, I don't.
So, I assume you're Talvashot or something like.
Why would you assume that?
If you weren't, you would have split my skull open at our first meeting before I said a word. Centuries of warfare with the Qunari do lead to this state of affairs.
You've encountered Qunari before?
Qunari raids are rather old hat for anyone from the Eastern Imperium, although the attacks aren't quite the rampaging wars of ages past. Now we're like two angry dowagers who only remember to spit at each other when they pass on the street.
Did you meet any Qunari personally?
None who weren't rushing towards me with a sword. I was too busy running in the other direction to say hello. I've met some Talvashot in my time, however. Mercenaries and a few merchants. They're not the same as Qunari. Might easily be a different people altogether.
If only other people knew that.
It's a southerner thing. Most of them don't even know what a Qunari looks like. Forgive their ignorance, O mighty one. They shall learn proper fear in time.
If you've no problem with me, I've no problem with you.
A philosophy I've learned to live by.
No issue with my being Inquisitor, then?
None that's specific. Being so very, very large. No.
Good.
Good.
I should go.
Try not to kill anyone without me.
No, I will. Well, I mean, try not to kill anyone without me.
The Templars will be an asset to this Inquisition. It's a shame we couldn't also get the mages on our side.
The Divine's death hit you hard. How have you been feeling?
Oh, you are referring to my outburst in the Haven. I am much better now. Justinia was such a dear friend and there were so many things going wrong.
Things going wrong? I'm shocked.
I was there when the hero Ferelden defeated the archdemon. We won the day, and I thought the Maker smiled on me. When the Divine requested my help, I went to her. I owed her that much. I sacrificed so much to do the Maker's work. But now, Justinia is dead. I was angry. I felt betrayed. But I shouldn't have let my emotions get the better of me. I'm sorry.
Don't apologize. You were grieving and upset. I understand.
Thank you. Now enough of this. Let us think more pleasant thoughts.
Anything I should know?
It seems that the Orlesian army is awaiting our next move. Some of the generals are sympathetic to our cause, others are still suspicious. Our actions are under a great deal of scrutiny.
I'll leave you to your work.
Well, I know to speak about that. Who to speak to about that? I mean, is it this door? Have I just gone around the entire way just to go to the right way? No. Okay. Right, this is what pisses me off about this fucking castle, man. So well designed, but there's so many nooks and crannies and little things that you just get lost in, and you end up having to do things like this. I want to speak to Cullen. What do? I jump off this fucking wall and come down here like this. It's like, come on. Oh, there's Cullen.
Inquisitor, if you're looking for the commander, he's gone to speak with Seeker Pentagast.
Okay. Apparently he's in here.
You asked for my opinion, and I've given it. Why would you expect it to change?
I expect you to keep your word. It's relentless. I can't...
You give yourself too little credit.
If I'm unable to fulfill what vows I kept, then nothing good has come of this. Would you rather save face than admit... We will speak of this later.
And people say I'm stubborn. This is ridiculous. Cullen told you that he's no longer taking lyrium.
It seemed very important to him.
It's not a decision to be made lightly. But now, Cullen has asked that I recommend a replacement for him. I refused. It's not necessary. Besides, it would destroy him. He's come so far.
Why didn't he come to me?
We had an agreement long before you joined us. As a Seeker, I could evaluate the dangers.
Cassandra, did you refuse Cullen's request because he's wrong, or because you want him to be wrong?
Mages have made their suffering known, but Templars never have. They are bound to the Order, mind and soul, with someone always holding their lyrium leash. Cullen has a chance to break that leash, to prove to himself, and anyone who would follow suit, that it's possible. He can do this. I knew that when we met in Kirkwall. Talk to him. Decide if now is the time.
I can do that.
Inquisitor.
Wish there was an easier way to get to that doorway, though, to go and see him. You know. It's just right here. Right, 'cause I kept thinking it was in the middle floor, because it's in a tower. But it's not. It's actually over here. Which isn't too bad at all.
Maker's breath. I didn't hear you enter. Forgive me.
I thought you had everything under control. What's going on?
It's fine. I'll I never meant for this to interfere.
What do you intend to do?
Cassandra's right. I should stay. I need to... I don't know. You asked what happened to Ferelden's Circle. It was taken over by abominations. The Templars, my friends, were slaughtered. I was tortured. They tried to break my mind, and I... How can you be the same person after that? Still, I wanted to serve. They sent me to Kirkwall. I trusted my Knight Commander, and for what? Her fear of mages ended in madness. Kirkwall's Circle fell. Innocent people died in the streets. Can't you see why I want nothing to do with that life?
With everything that's happened, you've picked a bad time to start over.
I should have seen that. I thought this would be better. That I would regain some control over my life, but these thoughts won't leave me. How many lives depend on our success? I swore myself to this cause. I will not give less to the Inquisition than I did to Chantry. I should be taking it. I should be taking it.
So that's it. Things get difficult and you back down.
That's not...
You've built an army. Are you capable of leading it?
Yes, Inquisitor.
Then carry on as you were. Without Lyrium. You need that in writing?
That won't be necessary.
Soldier. Sometimes as a leader, you got to like read the room, and I think Cullen just needed a bit of tough love from one commander to another. Basically, just needed some like, you know.
Inquisitor.
Planning troop movements now?
I'm trying to imagine what it will look like when we're done. All of this once belonged to the Tevinter Imperium. Andraste changed that, as did the Blights. As for what will come next, I cannot guess the Maker's plan.
Maybe there is no plan. We get the world we make, nothing more.
Then how do we determine the right choices to make? I know I want a world where people trust the Chantry and that trust is respected. I want to respect tradition, but not fear change. I want to right past wrongs, but not avenge them. And I have no idea if my wanting these things makes any of them right.
So talking about politics before, there are 3 people in the game who can become the next Divine. One of them is and I think they're really well written to design different political swings. And by this I don't mean communism or Nazi ideology. I don't mean anything like that. I mean, so you have Leliana is the far left choice. All right, she wants all of the mages to be free. She wants all of the circles destroyed and damn the consequences. To hell with the consequences. Tear it all down. Right. Very left. Very freedom. Very everyone should be free and to do their own thing. And very hippie. Right. Old school left. Vivienne is right. She's very, very right. I want the circles back. I want everybody safe. I will make changes to the circles to ensure that, you know, there's some sort of oversight to stop abuse, but we need the system back. It's going to come back. It's going to have stringent rules on both sides. Everyone's going to be fine because I'm controlling it. Okay? Very far on the right. Okay? Totalitarian, I'm in control, blah, blah, blah. Both of those things have their dangers, right? Leliana's has you know, chaos, complete chaos at all times. And if you've been playing this game, Liliana is the worst choice, in my opinion, to become divine, because we've already had lots of chaos where no one was in control. She would just go back to that, which is crazy. Vivienne is the second best choice, in my opinion, because whilst everything that she does is well and good, right? She's very far-right leaning, she's very totalitarian, she's very in control. While she's alive, she's the best choice. But she's not immortal. When she dies, what happens then? Okay? Does the next person backpedal? Does the next person not seem as strong as Vivienne is, right? The best choice, actually, is Cassandra. Because Cassandra is she basically shares the reason why I'm so enamored with the character, and basically every character I make in Dragon Age Inquisition ends up romancing Cassandra, is because she's she's right-leaning, sure, but she's very centrist in her views. You know, she wants to right past wrongs and not avenge them. I'm exactly the same. Look at BLM, look at things like that, right? I don't support BLM or anything like that. I think it's ridiculous. I think we should right past wrongs, not avenge them. The pendulum shouldn't swing completely the other way. It should go into the middle, right? And that's what she is. You know, she wants to right past wrongs, not avenge them. She wants to respect tradition. That's what I want to do, but not for your change. Again, brilliant, fantastic. You hold your traditions valuable, but you respect change. You embrace it when it's right. Okay, brilliant. Right, they're all the things I get along with. For longevity and the Chantry and Mages and Templars and everybody, Cassandra's the best person because she doesn't swing too far either way. She makes sure that things are nice and stable as they go on, and you can tell that she would institute something in the Chantry that would outlive her. You know, the next person would be it would be very easy to pick up Cassandra's mantle and carry on and keep the peace. I'm not going to make Cassandra the divine, because you basically get to decide through your choices, simply because two things. Number one, Kanos actually is more, in terms of magic, is more right leaning than I am. He's more conservative than I am, personally. You know, he agrees with Vivienne quite a lot. He holds Vivienne in very, very high esteem, because this is a mage who controls her shit and gets on with it, and you know, and wants everyone to be safe. He believes in her, and he believes that she will produce order long term. The selfish part of Kanos, that's covering the selfish part of his decision now. The selfish part of his decision is he wants to keep Cassandra away from that because he knows he'll never be able to marry her. Because divines can't marry. So it's kind of a Joel at the end of Last of Us kind of thing, you know. He logicizes a very selfish choice.
Even if they're not right, they're certainly admirable.
Some would disagree. They would call it heresy.
That didn't sound like the ravings of a heretic, Cassandra.
Perhaps not. But it takes precious little effort to paint even an act of compassion as damaging. Tell me, what guides you? You make decisions that shake the world, yet always seem so assured. I wish I had your confidence.
You almost sound like you admire me.
I absolutely do. I may not always agree with your decisions, but how many could do what you have done? You were a prisoner, accused and reviled, yet you've emerged from every trial victorious. The Maker's grace does not make you immortal. You live or die by your own hand. That is worthy of admiration.
If I'm guided by anything, it's you.
Oh, excellent. The blind leading the blind.
I don't think you're blind.
You're persistent.
I thought you liked my confidence.
When we first met, if someone told me I would be pleased to have you lead me, I would have throttled them. But I am. The Maker chose well.
I don't believe I was chosen, remember?
Oh, I'm well aware. We still have a long road to travel, Inquisitor. Wherever it takes us, I'm glad you're here.
I think, honestly, they deserve each other in a weird way. You know, they really do fit each other quite well.
Ah, come on, Krim. I'm working my ass off trying to get you to see that move.
You still got plenty of arse left, Chief. Your worship.
Glad you came by. I got a letter from my contacts in the Ben Hasrath. Already verified it with Red.
You want to discuss this alone?
Not like I was hiding it from my boys. Besides, right now, I need to hit something.
You know they've got training dummies, Chief.
The training dummy might actually defend itself against the shield bash. Anyway, the Ben Hasrath letter.
What did the letter say?
The Ben Hasrath have been reading my reports. They don't like Corypheus or his Venatori. And they really don't like Red Lyrium. They're ready to work with us. With you, boss. The Qunari and the Inquisition, joining forces.
Oof.
That could be a powerful alliance.
My people have never made a full-blown alliance with a foreign power before. This would be a big step. They found a massive Red Lyrium shipping operation out on the coast.
They wanted us to hit it together. Talked about bringing in one of their dreadnoughts. Always wanted to see one of those big warships in action.
Did you see that? Go get some water. They're worried about tipping the smugglers, so no army. My chargers, you, maybe some backup.
What does this alliance really get us?
They wouldn't use the word alliance if they didn't mean it. Naval power. More Ben Hasrath reports. Qunari soldiers pointed at the Venatori. It could do a lot of good.
You don't seem entirely happy about this.
No, I'm good. It's... I'm used to them being over there. It's been a while.
I thought Qunari wanted to extend their reach to the whole world.
Yeah. Just didn't think I'd see it. Look, the Qun answers a lot of questions. It's a good life for a lot of people. But it's a big change. And a lot of folks here wouldn't do so well under that kind of life. I guess it's not like we're converting. This is just us joining forces against Corypheus. On that front, I think we're good.
I think the Inquisition could use some help from the Qunari.
Good. I'll pass on word to Cullen and Red. We can set up the meeting whenever you're ready.
Alright, sweet. So that mission is actually very important to Iron Ball. Yeah, for later on in the story. You can end up losing him for much later on in the story, to be fair. The inner circle, demands of the Qun. You know what, we'll do demands of the Qun first. That does link up to what we're doing. We'll do that first.
Those bands who impose the tolls? We're supplying them now. I knew you could take care of it. Mix and match, pick your batch.
It's a cool weapon. Is that a two-handed weapon? No. Refined greatsword. Ooh, that looks nice. Look at that. Look at that. Your Starfang looks a bit plain in comparison. That looks great. That looks great. Alright, what we're going to do is head to the Black Emporium. I'm going to save it first. Going to head to the Black Emporium. Just make sure we're... Yeah, we are. Good. Exactly. Fantastic. Let's head to the Black Emporium.
We had a visitor the other day. Turned out to be a Venatori. We fed him to the monster under the floorboards. He made a delightful crunching noise. Ah! Are they all like that?
Right, crafting materials. We're going to need some skins. Gust, ram leather, silk, ram leather. I'm not a fan of how much this costs. You know, I do think that if you've got the if you've got the oh, we've got lots of stuff to sell here actually. How much is that worth? 27. Shit, I just sold everything, didn't I? Oh well. So let's leave. Head back to Skyhold. Full disclosure, I may be gone for a couple of minutes. I'm not going to stop recording though, because I don't really want to edit two pieces together for the sake of a few minutes. So feel free to skip ahead in a moment or two once I've made the sword.
Well spent. We look like a capital now.
What I really like is that the game it does seem to naturally be pointing us towards the Exalted Plains where we're going to be fighting, you know, all legions and stuff. Or at least, you know.
Mix and match, pick your batch.
Okay, Evan, you're bang. 200 weapons. We could do Starfang. It's 282. So's that, and I really like that. And maybe the Inquisitor should have his own thing. You know, maybe he should have his own sword. Ram leather. Ram leather. Lustrous cotton. Rampage on kill. Movement and attack speed increases by 10% for 30 seconds. Stacks up to 5 times. Shit. Okay. Paragon's Lustrous 282. Viridium. Oh, I like that. Looks cool. Pyrofight looks good as well. Let's go with that. Yeah. So he's finally not using the Valor Castblade anymore. He's using Riftbreaker. Look at that. That's the actual... So the thing that I really didn't like about certain parts of the start of the game is that you use the sword in one of the cutscenes to, like, say, I am the Inquisitor, you know, things like that. And then you never see it again. This is cool. We get to see it. Anyway, I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go sort my grandpa out downstairs because he needs something. So I will be back in 1 or 2 minutes. See you then. There we are. I was thinking maybe it's better to not have Starfang, because I don't know. Maybe it's just better to not do that. need to make some more weapons for them, don't I? Because I swear to God that Bull's still using bloody... Bull's Edge, you know. Not very good. 215, 21... Which one was 256? Look at that. 215's fine, though. Go with that. Go some fennec fur. Go with some ram leather. Go with some bloodstone, why not? Okay. Sandra's blade. Boom. Just so I know what's what. Right, 200. I think we'll go with that. 26 Drakestone is fine. Go Paragon's Luster, so he's doing the most damage. Some fennec fur over here. Some ram leather over here. Some cotton over here. Bull's Edge 2. There we go. And for Dorian, give him some Viridium. Give him some Paragon Luster. Oh, I like that. Heals himself. That's always good. Guard damage bonus. Dorian stuff. Okie dokie. So, Cassandra gets Cassandra's blade. Lovely. You can see it looks like an Inquisition symbol on it, which is good. Dorian gets Dorian stuff. And Bull gets Bull's Edge 2. Lovely. We have sold nearly everything, haven't we? No, we haven't. So we should sell. We should sell some of this stuff. I'm not going to sell the Valakast blade because I don't want to. I'm not going to use them because they look ridiculous. What's this? Gift to the Mountain Father. Rubbish. Soul Kisser. Rubbish. 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 Right, okay, cool. That's the one thing that they really didn't do properly. Is that they really didn't make it so that your weapons are... There's no point picking weapons up, really. Early in the game, perhaps, but like later on, no way, because you can just make some ridiculous weapons. So, we're going to go to the Storm's Coast with Bull. Keep the Darkspawn down. Keep the Darkspawn down. That's where it is, Demands of the Cune. Alright.
All right. Our Kunari contacts should be here to meet us.
He is. Good to see you again, Hisrad.
Gat! Last I heard, you were still in Saharan.
They finally decided I'd calmed down enough to go back into the world.
Boss, this is Gat. We work together in Saharan.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Inquisitor. Hisrad's reports say you're doing good work.
Iron Bull's name is Hisrad.
Under the Qun, we use titles, not names.
My title was Hisrad, because I was assigned to secret work. You can translate it as Keeper of Illusions, or...
Liar. It means liar.
Well, you don't have to say it like that.
I'm only here because we both want to stop Corypheus.
Indeed. The Tevinter Imperium is bad enough without the interference of this Venatori cult.
Yes. Filthy, decadent brutes, the lot of them. I'm certain life would be much better for all of us under the Qun.
It was for me, after the Canary rescued me from slavery in Tevinter. I was 8. The Qun isn't perfect, but it gave me a better life.
Yes, one free from all that pointless free will and independent thought. Such an improvement.
The Imperium and the Canary both have their problems.
Fair enough, I suppose.
I'm not here to convert anyone. All I care about is stopping this red lyrium from reaching Minrathos.
With this stuff, the Vince could make their slaves into an army of magical freaks. We could lose Saharan and see a giant Tevinter army come marching back down here.
The Ben Hasrath agree. That's why we're here. Our dreadnought is safely out of view and out of range of any Venatori mages on shore. We'll need to eliminate the Venatori, then signal the dreadnought so it can come in and take out the smuggler ship.
There might be Venatori mages on the ship as well, if the dreadnought can't handle them.
It's unlikely there'll be more than 2 or 3 mages on the ship, and they'll be dead by the 3rd shot. On land, though, a half-dozen Venatori attacking the dreadnought from cover could do some serious damage.
If it's dangerous for the dreadnought close to shore, why not attack when the smugglers reach open water?
Any decent smuggling ship can outrun a dreadnought on open water. We need to catch them close to shore.
I could have crushed any Venatori resistance with the Inquisition's main forces. Why not use them?
Because then the Venatori would have seen you coming and run. They'd schedule a new shipment for later, and our spies might not know when or where. This is risky, yes, but it's our best chance to destroy the shipping operation permanently.
What do you think, Bull?
Don't know. I've never liked covering a dreadnought run. Too many ways for crap to go wrong. If our scouts underestimate enemy numbers, we're dead. If we can't lock down the Venatori mages, the ship is dead. It's risky.
Riskier than letting Red Lyrium into Minrathos?
Let's go hold up our end of the bargain, then.
My agent suggested 2 possible locations the Venatori may be camped to guard the shore. There, and there. We'll need to split up and hit both at once.
I'll come with you, boss. Krem can lead the charges. Let me fill him in. Come by when you're ready to move.
Just waiting on you and Hisrad up. Iron Bull, I guess.
You knew Iron Bull back when he fought in Saharan?
Yes. He led the group that freed me. I was a Magister's slave, and when the Magister went to Saharan, he brought me along. For company. Iron Bull and his men attacked my master's ship and killed him, as well as his soldiers. Bull set me free.
And you decided to start following the Qun after that?
What do you think? I just watched a giant horned warrior kill the Magister who hurt me.
He never told me about this.
One of the few things he hasn't shared with you, I gather. Sure, Bull. Share the secret Ben Hasrath reports, but keep that bit where you saved the elf boy to yourself.
Is Bull going to get in trouble for passing those reports on?
The Ben Hasrath aren't pleased with how forthcoming Bull has been, but he was one of their best agents. He kept the streets clean in Saharan longer than anyone before him or after. He fought until it nearly killed him. The Ben Hasrath trust him enough to accept how he joined the Inquisition, even if they don't like it. Besides, they hate to discard a tool that might still have some use left in it. That's why I have a job.
It sounds like following the Cune hasn't always been easy.
I had a temper. Bull's nickname for me, Gat, comes from Gatlock, the explosive power in Canary cannons. I was so angry when I was first freed. I wanted revenge. I wanted to find my family who was still enslaved in Minrathos. I thought about leaving when the Cune didn't tell me what I wanted to hear, but I didn't.
Why not?
The Canary were always ready to listen, to teach. They cared for me as much as one of their own. And if I leave, the parts of the Cune that I don't like are never going to change.
End up working for the Canary out here.
The Ben Hasrath usually pick elves or humans to work outside of Cunandar. We're a little harder to spot. I've worked in Orlais and Navarra, but only for a few years now.
What did you do before that?
When I was old enough, I fought Tevinter forces in Saharon. I was too angry to do much else. It took me a long time to accept the Cune, to get past justice, to purpose. Some days are still difficult.
No one's actually detailed how an alliance with the Canary will help the Inquisition.
The answer to that is above my rank. But the Canary don't really bargain. They don't know how. I doubt you want Canary troops stomping around your stronghold, and you're too far away for supplies to be useful. You'd get more use out of our ships, I imagine, and the agents we've got spread across Thedas. We know a lot more than what Bull sees in those reports he's been forwarding to your spy master.
Do you have a minute to talk about the Cune?
I'm a spy, Inquisitor, not a teacher. I'm not interested in converting anyone or debating the philosophy. But I suppose it would make for an interesting report to hear the Inquisitor's opinion of the Cune.
I think the Cune's philosophy is fascinating. You could learn a lot from the Canary.
It's a very different way of life. It's fair, at least. That's not something you can say out in this world very often. I like the simplicity. I like knowing my place and knowing that it's the right place. Other parts I've struggled with myself.
I'll let you know when we're ready.
I await your pleasure, Inquisitor.
Can you imagine, like... That's what everyone's searching for in life, though, isn't it? That's why it's magnetic. Because everybody wants to know that they belong and that they're in the right place and that they're doing the right thing. They don't want to second-guess themselves, and the Canary, the Cune, takes all that away. Says, yeah, you're in exactly the right place, you're doing exactly the right thing. You know? So I can sort of see why it's so magnetic to people. Especially in a low fantasy
Once they're
setting.
down, send up your signal. That'll let the Dreadnought know it's safe to come in.
Understood, Chief.
Remember, you're gonna want a volley to start, but don't get suckered into fighting at range. They've got mages.
It's all right. We've got a mage of our own.
I'm not a mage.
Get in close and take their enchanter down before he takes over the battlefield.
He'll be dead before he knows it.
Just pay attention, all right? The Vince want this red lyrium shipment bad.
Yes, I know. Thanks, Mother.
Kunari don't have mothers, remember?
We'll be fine, Chief.
All right, Chargers. Horns up!
Horns up!
Ready whenever you are, boss. I'm ready to head out, Bull. Right. Chargers, hit 'em hard and hit 'em fast. When this is over, drinks are on me.
You got it, Chief. Charges, double time. Let's move!
You gave your chargers the easier target.
You think?
Lower and farther from the smuggler's ship, it's much less likely to be heavily defended.
Suppose we'll do the heavy lifting then. Just like old times.
Oh, guess we can't head that way.
Be careful. My agent said to expect opposition ahead of the main camp.
We've all done this a few times, Gat.
You've been living outside the Kyun for years now, Iron Bull. Just wanted to make sure your reflexes hadn't gotten as soft as the rest of you.
Ouch. Vince, up ahead!
Let them warn the others. You must wish you were back in Tevinter, Mage. No soldiers to guard you here, no slaves to wait on you.
It's the lack of fashion that really strikes fear into my heart.
You know nothing of fear.
And do you intend to teach me?
No. You serve the Inquisition, and the Ben Hasrath wish an alliance. For now, that is enough. Get ready. We're close.
Guy, shut up. Don't assume my companions are here to help you, alright? Shut your fucking face.
Why is it always so cold? How do you Southerners stand?
What's the matter? Not enough slaves around to rub your footsies?
My footsies are freezing, thank you.
We're clear, Gat.
Right. Signaling the Dreadnought.
Chargers already sent theirs up. See them down there?
I knew you gave them the easier job.
There's the Dreadnought. That brings back memories. Nice one. Crap.
The Chargers can't stand against that kind of force.
No, they can't.
Your men need to hold that position, Bull.
They do that. They're dead.
And if they don't, the Venatori retake it and the Dreadnought is dead. You'd be throwing away an alliance between the Inquisition and the Canary. You'd be declaring yourself Talvashoth. With all you've given the Inquisition, half the Ben Hasrath think you've betrayed us already. I stood up for you, Hisrad. I told them you would never become Talvashoth.
They're my men.
I know, but you need to do what's right, Hisrad. For this alliance, and for the Kyun.
Let me explain my choice. In terms of consequences, if you let Iron Bull, if you abandon Iron Bull's men, you do the quote-unquote right thing. He dies in Trespasser at the end of the game. He betrays you because he's still loyal to the Kyun. Oh, look at that! There's beads of water running down the metal part of my armor. Anyway, if you save the men, he becomes Talvashoth. But it also means that the Canary are very antagonistic to the south now. It's one of the other, because one of their best agents has come down to the south and eventually has been poisoned. His mind's been poisoned. Now he's Talvashoth, right? Right. So, if I'm a Canary warrior, okay, I make the choice to save the Dreadnought. Because a Canary warrior really admires the Kyun and he wants to to do well by them, and he feels that, you know, if he was born under the Kyun, he could have had a good life. He could have had a better life than what he had anyway. Right? But I'm a mage. Okay, and as the game's gone on, I think you can see Kanos has become more of a mage. He's leaning into being a mage. He's using his powers. They're getting a lot more powerful. Especially since he became a knight enchanter and he trained to hone his already prodigious talents. At the start of the game, he's very raw. He's very powerful, but he's very raw. He's a mercenary, and he's never been taught by anybody. Now he has. He's got a lot more discipline now. And he thinks about what his life would be like under the Kyun, and his life would be terrible. It'd be pretty much over. His tongue would be cut out, and he'd become a Sarabas, you know, his mouth sewn shut. So, yeah, he'd be little more than a slave. So, he doesn't, again, it's very complicated. Like, Kanos doesn't trust magic. That's true. That is very true. But he trusts mages. That's the thing. He doesn't trust magic, but he does trust, he trusts mages on the whole. Unless they give him a reason not to trust him, you know? And when he thinks about mages, he thinks about people like Vivienne. He thinks about people like, well, Solus, technically. But then he thinks about people like himself, right? Who Andorian, right? Who don't summon blood mages, who are really good people, and who want the circles, and who want people to be safe, and things like that, and can use magic for good. And the Kyun don't share that philosophy, right? Kanos is doing perfectly well at the moment without their alliance. He's not that bothered about making nice with them, because everything that Iron Bull said is that they're going to come south and attack us eventually anyway. So maybe it's best not to allow them to come down here just yet. You know, maybe it's best to keep them out of it and see if we can handle this on our own. I think if I'm a warrior, I also don't save the Grey Wardens. I get rid of them. Which means I basically need the Canary. In my own mind, at that point, you need the Canary to be the meat, right? Well, we've got a lot of meat right now. We've got the Templars, we've got the Grey Wardens, right? We've got a lot of Ferelden's armies on side. We've got a lot of warriors. We don't really need the Canary. And if it takes all of this to get them on side, then no, I'm okay. I'm all good, right? I really like... bear in mind, the Canary are my favourite faction. I really like the Canary. I really like the way that they're set up. I think they're so interesting when they're not being neutered. But I think Kanos would make the decision, quite simply, to save the charges, right? He would make that decision. He would say, look, Iron Ball's worth more to me with a free mind than the Dreadnought is, right? We've come to do what we needed to do. We've come to do what we needed to do. The Red Lyrium is crushed. It's not going up there anymore. So we've done our bit, right? Letting these people die was not part of the plan, right? It's not part of the plan. Again, if I'm a warrior, I make a completely different decision. I save the Dreadnought because I want that alliance, right? But when you think about it, as a mage, do I really want to support the side that would castrate mentally everybody that I am, every part of me, right? Would I really make that choice? You know, every fibre of my being wants to save the Dreadnought right now, because that's the decision I would have made if I was in this decision, if I was in this point. But Kanos wouldn't make that decision. Kanos would say, no, you know, you stick with me. You know, that's fine. You know, we'll go and save the Chargers. They've done more for me right now than the Canary have, and the Canary would mentally castrate me. So, you know, let's just go save your men.
Call the retreat.
Don't.
They are falling back.
All these years, Hisrad, and you throw away all that you are. For what? For this? For them?
That's 2. Yeah.
We can make this up to your people.
No, you can't.
No way they'll get out of range. Won't be long now.
Bull, when the dreadnought sinks...
Sinks? Canary dreadnoughts don't sink. Come on. Let's get back to my boys.
I've never seen that before. And there's a little bit of hindsight there. You know, I was like, you know, the Canary do attack anyway. They start attacking. They start being assholes in the lead up to the 4th game.
Hey, boss.
Inquisitor, it is my duty to inform you that there will be no alliance between our peoples. Nor will you be receiving any more Ben Hasrath reports from your Talvishoth ally.
You under orders to kill me, Gat?
No. The Ben Hasrath have already lost one good man. They'd rather not lose 2.
So much for that.
You all right, Bull?
Yeah. Guess I'll have more free time without having to write all those reports.
Bull.
Boss, let me have this one, all right? This one needs to be mine. You're late.
Sorry, Chief. Still sore from fighting off all those vents. Good to see you, Inquisitor.
Nice work taking down those Venatori.
Always easy with the Chief watching our backs, Your Worship. Chief's even breaking open a cask of chasing sackmead for the charges tonight.
Damn it, Krem. That's the kind of thing you don't have to mention to the Inquisitor.
Sorry, Chief.
Ah, forget it. You're doing fine.
So if you do the other choice, he doesn't approve that much. So I'm thinking for Bull that's the right choice. For the Inquisition, it's the wrong choice. And as Inquisitor, I'm already thinking, shit, what did I do there? You know, maybe I should have... But if you see how heartbroken he is for losing the charges, like, you know, maybe we made the right choice. I'm not sure. Anyway.
Would you have guessed such a pairing?
Oh, yes. The lure of command. Noble maids. Classically arousing in every sense.
Anyway. We're going to go head to the Exalted Plains in the next part. And I'm going to record that right away. So see you then.